Hi everyone, it's Rena and welcome to my video. We are learning about Pom Pom Puff pigtails. I kind of debuted them in my previous video, so we are going to go through the steps of how to make this hairstyle. So let's get to it. Okay, so this is the character that I was talking to. This is the one I'm referring to last time. The hair that we are working with, I used the same base as I did in the last hair tutorial, like actual tutorial, and yeah, so I just used that base for the hair. We just created our own parting. That's the word I'm looking for, parting. But if you don't want to make your own part and you just want to use the one they have for you, you can always just click on any one of these pigtail, like one of these, and English, as you can see, the hair is kind of already like sectioned in a parting, and the shine is already positioned where it should be, so you don't have to worry about that if you don't want to make your own. But I strongly advise you to make your own, and then if you're going to change the hairstyle itself. So back to what I had before. I think it was this one. I'm just gonna remove all the other stuff that we had here. That and this. So this is the base hair, and then you're gonna click on the extension, and we're gonna go into customs, because that's where you can create your own, and then you're just gonna click on creating a custom. So it would look like a little mesh that looks like this, and then you press edit hairstyle, and then it'll bring you to page like this. So in this one, you are going to want to, I'm not even sure, I feel like my mesh is kind of permanently like this because I keep using it based off of the previous hair. So you're going to want to either, for me, I didn't want them to be very long, so I changed the mesh height. So you're going to scroll down over to grid parameters, drop that height down all the way to 0.10. So that gives you less points to work with. Since we are going up into a high pom-pom position, you can either turn on mirroring, so that way you don't really have to worry about if one is higher than the other. So look like this. They both go up the same, equal, even points, and then just kind of shape out the shape that you're looking for a pom-pom. So pom-poms are usually rounded, so we're going to do the opposite of what we had. So a nice little lovely rounded structure. Don't worry about this front one, we're going to fix that later. And then once you get that shaped to how you would like, kind of like that, you could always work in layers. You can turn off mirroring, and then we're going to fix up that front one. So for the front one, we're going to just pull, I hate this one. This one slightly, just so I can get a bit of a rounded shape. Cool. And then just really curve that one in. We don't want it to look like horns. So nice little soft rounding position. And then you can do the same with the back one. You don't have to have it fully out, super far. And then the fun part is making sure that it is leveled with your insertion point. So if this is too high, but don't worry, you can always work in layers, because this hairstyle requires you to actually work in layers. So you can, if it's like a little bit higher than you think it should be, that's totally fine. Or if it's a little bit lower than you think it should be, that's totally fine, because you're going to have to do an outside layer and an inside layer. So one side is going to curve in, one's going to be concaved and one's going to be convexed. So concave is going to be curving outwards, and then the other one, so this one's going to be convex, which is going to be curving the other way. So now that we have created that, you're going to use it doesn't matter what the hair texture right now, you can change that later. You're going to make sure you're looking on the inside of this mesh, and then you're going to draw going up towards the tip of the mesh. So it doesn't have to be too many points. It could be very short. You can kind of start from here and just go straight up. So kind of like this. And that be something that you can work with. And then you can then stretch the points down and around. So if you were smart, unlike me, when you were making the base hair, you did it in a way that was either symmetrical. Actually, the reason why mine isn't very symmetrical is because I wanted like an S kind of curve structure. So this and this are probably not going to be the same point, but if they are, you can always use mirroring, and that will help you get to the structure a lot faster. So I'm just going to come back with the first row completed. Okay, so now that is done, all I did here was work on, so as you can see, the shaping. I wanted it to go in a little bit more. So for this, you just have to play around with the structure of the curvature. So if you want this little curve over here, you can work over here. So as you can see, the curvature here, I changed it. And then what I did next was play around with the thickness and the height of each, not thickness and height, thickness and width of each of the hairs, which is unplugged. I don't know. Strange. For the rest of the hair, I played around with the thickness as well as the width for each one. Just kind of made it a little bit, give me different variety and different structure, as well as I played around with the twisting strength because that can make a difference in the style. And that was pretty much it for this round. So the next round, you do pretty much the same thing, but like I said, you're gonna flip the curve the opposite way. So if this is considered to be convex, you're gonna make the next one concaved. So shaping the opposite direction. So as you can see, you're gonna move your points to more of like a concaved structure that looks like this. Almost kind of looks like she's wearing a little crown of mesh right now. And basically pull the same process all over again. So you're just going to draw your 3 strands. I usually work in 3s. 2s can probably work with this hairstyle too. This just makes it like a little thicker doing it. And this hairstyle, if you don't have to do it as thick, you can also work in a lot thinner strands and it would still kind of give you the same effect. I think probably working in thinner strands would probably be a little bit better because I'll show you what it looks like when you have it fully completed from like a lateral side view. Okay, so once you have finished structuring your mesh, you're going to draw on your hairs and it should look something like that. So if I were to take away this one, it's kind of structured like this, as you can see, kind of going concaved slightly. And then you can just play around with the mesh just to see how it's fitting with your design. Make sure you have, when you're doing that, you have the 2 of them put together so they kind of look like 2 little donuts, forming, well, 2 little half of the rings of the donuts forming one whole donut now. And yeah, because we did 3 of them, it's kind of like in a lengthwise. So that's why I mean, if you worked in the smaller, thinner structure, you would get probably more of like a well-rounded look. But because for the most part, most people are using these characters for, I mean, if you're using it for VR chat, that's a different story. That's a whole different story. I mean, like, you might want to have that look where it's like you have a lot of volume. But for the most part, not a lot of people are paying attention to the back of your head. I'm not saying the back of the head looks bad. I actually still like it how it looks in the back and on the side, but some people, they might not like the thickness of those pom-poms, so you can always play around with how many you want. They kind of also remind me of little Mickey Mouse ears, which I think I did a video on how to make little Mickey Mouse ears before. But that's pretty much it for today's video. So if this has helped you in any form or fashion, please give me a like, a great thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if this has helped you at all. And we will see you in the next one. Okay, everyone, have a good one. Bye.